Good morning, Jacksonville. I am Dylan Denmark. That is Graham Marsh. We're finally back for I would say a live reaction because Graham didn't react to the game Saturday night. He was down in Miami. I did a little quick 15-minute hits on what I thought of what happened with Lagway against Samford as really the gauntlet starts. I know it's not the November gauntlet that everybody's talked about before the season, but now you enter SEC play. You enter Texas A&M, Mississippi State. You play UCF in the middle of it. And now we are off. And Graham, just like kind of we expected Wednesday, we expected DJ Lagway to have a good game. We expected him to throw the rock around and use his legs. He did, broke a couple of records. And the storyline is here: DJ Lagway or Graham Mertz.
Yeah, it was before you just said it here at the end. I was gonna make the joke. I wonder what we're gonna talk about today.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure. There's no really. It's not like there's one really hot button topic that everybody in Gator Nation wants to talk about. Yeah, man, watching the game. We're literally just listening to Dan Hicken on the drill a second ago. Say, you have to put the caveat. We have to say the caveat before we can have the conversation. So let's go ahead and just say the caveat. Yes, it was Samford. We get it. Okay, it was Samford. It's not exactly a powerhouse program. We understand. Okay, so now let's have the conversation. Regardless of who you play, there are certain things you can tell from guys that are just different at the quarterback position, right? DJ Lagway has those things that you can tell. And it isn't to say that Mertz is a bad quarterback. He's not. It isn't to say Mertz is not a great Gator. He is. It isn't to say that everything he's been asked to do as a Gator, he's done, and he's passed the test of was this a good transfer QB with flying colors. But here's what I'm keep coming back to when I go through this in my head, Dylan. Graham Mertz was always brought in to be a bridge quarterback, right?
Yes.
That's something that I feel like not everybody has talked about yet. When Anthony Richardson declared for the NFL draft at the end of the 2022 season, there was really no quarterback in waiting ready to go for the Gators. There was not that guy that you knew was going to take over the reins after AR left, because we pretty much all knew he was going to go to the NFL at the end of that season. And once he left, there was not that guy. So everybody knew, okay, they got to go get a guy in the portal and have a veteran presence, ideally a guy that's played a lot of college ball, which that's exactly what Mertz was. And then when you get a highly touted recruit in here that could be one of them and could be special, then Mertz is that bridge. We're on the other side of that bridge, and let's ride. Well, here we are, Dylan. We're on the other side of that bridge, okay? And maybe some old school people don't want to hear that because they think that you got to rock with the guy with experience and the guy that's earned it and the guy that's the captain and all that. You play the best guys, and Lagway is the best guy. It's really that simple, in my opinion.
We said last Thursday when we did a show before the game, I said after the game, I still think Napier is going to go with Mertz regardless of how he played. And he kind of said that after the game too. He was asked the question, does this affect the way you use Lagway in the future? He goes, no. He goes, we have a plan, and he goes, we're still going to go by that plan. The only question is how much will DJ Lagway play moving forward? Billy Napier is a fool if DJ Lagway isn't being used at least 15 and 20 snaps during the game. And I don't know how you want to use him, if you want to use him for a drive, in a quarter, or if you want to have certain packages for him. DJ Lagway is one of your best offensive players, regardless of position. And he is being wasted if he's on the sideline. It's that simple for me.
It is. And by the way, you know this and I know this, and most people listening probably know this, but for those that don't, Billy Napier answering that question saying we have a plan and we're going to use Lagway, whatever. There's an important term in there, and it's the term start that he did not use on purpose. So the translation for that is Mertz is starting. For people that weren't able to pick up on that, Mertz is starting. Okay, it's going to happen. Here's how I believe this is going to shake out, though. Sorry, my phone just fell. I believe that Mertz is going to start against A&M, and we're going to have to see how things go. But just because, even if this is not what Napier wants to do, just because of the pressure from the fan base, I have to imagine from boosters behind closed doors to play the freshman in the game, Mertz is going to be on about as short of a leash as humanly possible. Okay, not only is Lagway going to be put in the game probably for some packages and a run or whatever, but it's probably only going to take maybe one more bad game from Mertz, and I'm not sure he's ever going to get this job back. You had the easy excuse this week because he was concussed. But look, man, with the hot seat Billy Napier's on, the scorching hot seat that Billy Napier's on, he is not – he can say all he wants right now that they have a plan. But a wise man once said everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth, right?
That was the boxing, not football, but it still means the same thing.
It still applies to life, right? And this is a punch you in the mouth type of football schedule that the Gators have ahead of them, right? You just said it. They're about to get an SEC football play. I got news for everybody out there, man. Even if Lagway doesn't start against A&M, which I don't think he is, don't panic about it, because if you think that this offense is going to just pick up where they left off last year, at least the times they were good last year, and be great with Mertz at the helm the rest of the season, you're crazy. They're going to struggle, okay? And that's not to say Lagway wouldn't struggle as well, but I'm telling you, Mertz is going to be on a pretty small leash here. Like, the first game, maybe it's not A&M, I don't know. Maybe it's A&M, maybe it's Mississippi State, maybe it's the Tennessee game, maybe it's UCF. Who knows what game? But at some point, that offense is going to struggle enough to where the pressure is going to be too overwhelming to put Lagway in the game, and Lagway is going to be your starter at that point. And I think that's going to happen sooner than later, by the way.
We were at the Florida-Miami game, and there were a lot of people that left in the middle of the second quarter that said, all right, we're done with this. We're going to beat the traffic. We're going to go back to our tailgate. Mm-hmm. We're going to go drink or whatever. We're going to watch the rest of the games. And I feel like at that point, like, people not only left the game because the game was unwatchable against Miami, it was, we're done with Billy Napier. Yeah. And it wasn't like there wasn't like people screaming that. That was a sense I got. I was thinking about this when you were just talking. You know how the fans are in games. But if Graham Mertz goes out there and he doesn't start well in the first quarter, everybody's gonna be yelling for DJ Lagway. That's number one. Number two, I mean, what if Miami's a top 5 team in the country and they're just better than everybody else, and Texas A&M is not? And we have this opinion on Mertz, who, by the way, like you said, ended the season last season well, and we're having this opinion based off the Miami game. But I don't think Texas A&M is nowhere near Miami. I think Texas A&M is all right. I mean, I've only seen one half of them when they played Notre Dame, and Notre Dame just got beat. So I don't, it's too early to say what Texas A&M is. But I mean, who's not to say that Graham Mertz isn't just going to go right in there and just have a typical Graham Mertz game like he did last year?
I don't think it's going to happen.
Personally, so you've lost pretty much all faith in Graham Mertz for the rest of the year.
No. Sorry. Okay, sorry. This whole conversation is really not even about Mertz, to be honest, because I think Mertz is still the same guy that he was last year, but I think they've gotten worse around him. His two best playmakers last year were Ricky Pearsall and Trevor Etienne. Neither of them are on the team anymore. The offensive line seems to be worse, not better, at least against Miami. And you're right, and maybe Miami is a top 5 team and they're really good, and A&M, so we'll see. But, I mean, who was Mertz's go-to guy last year? It was Ricky Pearsall, right? Who was the most explosive back they had last year? It was Trevor Etienne. And the replacements for those guys are not of equal stature, right? Elijah Badger does not replace Ricky Pearsall. Okay, Chimere Dike does not replace Ricky Pearsall. The backs that are stepping up this year, they're good young players, but they're not replacing Trevor Etienne. So, and we talked about this a bit before the Stanford game. Because of those reasons, it's not that Mertz is going to struggle, it's this offense is going to struggle. And Mertz is not a quarterback that plays above the X's. He's not good enough to talent-wise to play above the X's and O's. He is very much run my offense, go with the ball where I need you to. He's kind of Brock Purdy-ish in San Francisco in the NFL. And this ain't a San Fran type of offense that we got going on down here in Gainesville. So that said, I believe that Billy Napier's only hope to have an offense that can really do any damage this year is to see what you got with the freshman, to see if he is just that good and can play above the X's and O's.
Yeah, I agree with you. I would play Lagway a lot Saturday. I'm just playing, the other side. I'm just, if it's me, I'm playing Lagway as much as I can Saturday.
Yeah, right.
But, this is just something that you think about over the weekend and as we move forward. A&M, I think last I saw was a 3.5-point favorite going into the game Saturday at 3:30. I think A&M should be the favorites. I saw the Notre Dame game. They played okay. Game down to the wire. Then McNeese State, they beat them 52-10, and they ran the ball a lot. I know Florida's defense on the scoreboard did well. There was still times where Stanford had their way, and they had a tiny quarterback. I don't know how much of the game you saw. You probably just saw the highlight package. I mean, the same issues that Florida had week one, they kind of carried into week two. You still had a dumb personal foul call, roughing the passer. Florida gets into the red zone. They get inside the 5, they get called back for a holding, and then after that, there's a false start. It's just like the same mistakes that just shoot you in the foot over and over and over again, carried into week 2 against the lesser opponent. And I don't know how that changes from week 1 to week 2, and now to week 3.
It won't. And this kind of gets back to my whole point. This carries over not just from the offense, but probably to the rest of the team. This is not a good enough football team. This is not a disciplined enough football team, well-coached enough football team to save Billy Napier's job this year, in my opinion, unless DJ Lagway is just that special. Like, to me, like, Lagway is this, like, one last bullet in the chamber that Napier has to exhaust all possible resources to prove he's a good coach at the University of Florida. Because I got news for you. I don't know if this is going to be breaking news to you, but in the two plus years now that he's been the head coach, he has proven nothing to show that he is a good coach at the University of Florida. Nothing. Okay? No. Nothing. Every coach, but we talked about this last week, every coach since Spurrier, when Spurrier built the program to what it is right now, every coach has at least done something at some point to have some type of success. Napier has zero, like nothing, like the Utah game and the Tennessee game last year. But they've never had a sustained amount of success with him as the coach. So the only chance to have that now is this freshman phenom that you brought in. And by the way, someone that you and I both know very well, the beloved Hacker. He and I disagreed on this topic very hard on last Friday on Gator Bites. He keeps saying that you can't tell me that Lagway gives him a better chance to beat A&M because Mertz has all this experience and Lagway's brand new and blah, blah, blah. For anybody that might be thinking along that same line of thinking, let me tell you why you're wrong. Freshman QBs play all the time now.
Yes, this isn't 1985 anymore.
No, this is not 1985 where you sit on the bench for 2 years and you learn what's going on, and then your junior year you come in and start. That ain't how it works, man. Dylan Raiola looks like one of the better quarterbacks in the country in Nebraska. Guess what he is? He's a true freshman.
He's a stud.
He's a stud. He is a stud. Would Nebraska go right now after a couple weeks of play and seeing how good he is? Would they go to a backup that's a junior because he's more experienced? Hell no. They go with the guy that's better.
just ask yourself this question. If you're the Texas A&M defensive coordinator, would you rather Florida start Graham Mertz or DJ Lagway?
You'd rather them start Mertz 100 times out of 100.
Exactly.
I keep banging the table so my phone's falling. You're 100% correct. Like, Lagway is going to be the type of player that, whether it's here or somewhere else, if he moves on, which I don't want to speak that into existence, but I think people aren't stupid.
Possibility is the truth.
People aren't stupid. He is going to be the type of player that keeps defensive coordinators up at night. That is clear. It is clear he's that type of dude. And look, he's a true freshman, and they got to play a quality SEC opponent versus Samford this week. Okay, I understand that. It doesn't mean he's not gonna go in there and make mistakes. Of course he is. Is he gonna maybe hang onto the ball too long one time and get strip sacked or something, or probably throw a bad interception, or not be on the same page with somebody? Of course, he's a true freshman. Of course, he's going to make mistakes. We're not sitting here saying that he's going to be Lamar Jackson right off the bat. We are simply saying that there is a ceiling there with Mertz that Lagway is able to blow past because of his raw ability and talent. And again, true freshmen play at the quarterback position in today's college football. That cannot be overstated. This would not be like crazy for Napier to put Lagway. Like, that's a relatively normal thing. When Drake May went to North Carolina, he started his first game ever. The first week they kicked off, he started. Okay, Caleb Williams a couple years back at Oklahoma. Spencer Rattler wasn't getting it done. They put in the true freshman. Guess who was the first overall pick a couple years later with a Heisman Trophy in his closet? Yep. Like, these guys play. Okay.
Or just go back to when Alabama played in the title game against Georgia the first time. Tua didn't play the whole season practically. I mean, he didn't play a meaningful snap. Hey, let's go win a national title as a true freshman.
In the second half. A true freshman in the national championship game, bro. But you're telling me you can't put Lagway in against Texas A&M? Give me a break. That's ridiculous. Okay, look. This is Napier's last bullet in the chamber, like we said. I believe he is out of options at this point. And again, you and I both fully believe that Graham Mertz is going to trot out there and be the starter on Saturday when they play A&M. I'm just telling everybody that because I have to imagine 95+% of people agree with you and me and want Lagway to play. I'm just telling you right now, have a little patience with it, because it's only going to take that offense to struggle a little bit more, which we all know is coming. And that pressure is going to be too great, and they're going to have to play Lagway. And I don't mean play him in packages like they're going to do and bring him in, in the middle of one series where he just runs 2 draw plays and then has to try to complete a 3rd and 9. I mean, make him the starter.
All right, let this be the last question I have before we roll. So what happened Saturday? We all agree Graham Mertz is going to start. How much did DJ Lagway play? I think he gets. I think DJ Lagway gets 15 to 20 snaps in some variety.
Everything I just said, where Mertz is going to struggle at some point and they're going to bench him and put Lagway in, I bet that happens against A&M.
Okay.
I bet 3rd quarter.
So they struggle first half, 3rd quarter they run out of options. Lagway go in there, and then it's Lagway's job from there. Because if both guys are playing and Mertz, and you sit Mertz and you put Lagway in, you're not going back to Mertz.
No,
without Lagway to injury. This isn't the running back position where you get flip flop the position.
From that point, barring injury, it's Lagway's job. And by the way, Mertz is not like some great athlete or anything. So like, Mertz is not going to have like packages like Lagway would have, right? Like, Mertz is either the starter or he ain't playing. Right?
Yes.
And I think Lagway, again, he'll be doing the packages or whatever they're cooking up, which I don't really have a lot of faith in. I don't even know if it matters that much. He'll do a drive or 2 of that in the first half. They'll probably be down at halftime. They'll be down 13-7. something like that.
I'd
Mertz
take that
maybe.
score.
What's up?
So I'd take that score.
At halftime?
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be down something like that, and they're going to put the freshman in and say, let's ride. And then we'll see what happens from there.
All right. I like it. Was there anything else you took away other than besides the quarterback controversy that we in the media have instituted?
Just that this team is still not very good.
Yeah. I mean, that was a 14-0 game at half when Florida was a 37.5-point favorite, and Sanford, I don't think, is probably going to have one guy that plays in the NFL. Or has a shot to play in the NFL.
Yeah, and to your point, no, yeah, I went back and watched basically the entire game, just like on like 1.5 speed on YouTube, but same stuff, man. Undisciplined on defense. They don't look like they're prepared ever. Defensively, offensively, they just don't have a lot of talent weapons wise, in my opinion. I still just don't think anybody provides you much electricity not named Eugene Wilson. I mean, I know Badger had the big catch in maybe Mizell. Hopefully some of these young guys play a little bit more. Maybe that was a bigger takeaway, actually, now that I think about it. Like Mizell getting the touchdown and those guys getting in the game a little bit. I hope that translates to more meaningful football. I mean, we were talking about it at the Miami game in the stands. I mean, we didn't see a guy like Mizell or Gene. Or I don't know if Gene's hurt right now, but Mizell or Gene or some of these younger guys, LJ McCray on defense, we didn't hear their names at all.
Yeah.
So McCray
played a little bit Saturday that I did see. I forget what his snap count was, but I did see him out there at least. That was good because he didn't play any against Miami.
Yeah, so I guess my other big takeaway is being that I think the older guys on this team are just not that good, to be quite honest with you. I hope that some of these younger guys get more chances to play and more meaningful snaps. It's easy to get them a lot of snaps against Sanford. But when the bullets are flying against an SEC team, can I see some of these young guys and just see what they got? Just like Lagway, but at other positions as well.
Yeah. I hear you. I got to roll traffic skin thick out there. I got to go into work and talk about the Jags on how great that performance was yesterday.
I saw that one in 4K, brother.
Did you at least have a good time down in Miami?
What's up?
I said, did you at least have a good time in Miami?
I did. Saturday night was quite a time. I don't know if you've heard this about Miami, but they're big into these things called nightclubs.
Yeah.
They pop off pretty hard down there, and you get a couple adult beverages in you. It's pretty hard to not have a good time there. So hit the casino, Hard Rock Casino, Hotel and Casino in Fort Lauderdale, the one that's the big guitar. That was cool. Cleaned up at the craps table, dude. I was crushing it in craps. Myself and my two buddies that Cam and Isaac. Cam was up 300. Isaac was up 250, and I was up 200.
Not bad.
That ain't a bad day, dude.
Now, were you up and then you dipped, or were you up and you continued to go?
No, up and dipped. Up and dipped.
So y'all are smart, man. Y'all are smart.
I left the casino wealthier than I stepped into it.
See, that's a smart man.
Man. Correct, dude. So we're up. So listen, first of all, we hit the craps table first, the roulette table first, and we're playing whatever we're doing our thing, and Cam first, one of my buddies first roll. I forgot how much, just not a lot, but like $20 or something on black 17. Nails it first roll.
Damn.
So huge payout. It was like $400 or something. A huge payout right away. So he's crushing it, right? We went a little bit at roulette. Think I netted like $20 or something off a couple of rolls. I was just playing red black. And then we go to the craps table. We're on the craps table for maybe 2 hours. You play craps for a long time. You're there for a while. And there's some good rolls, man. Just doing well, dude. And we were up, and then it kind of helped force us out of there because we had to go we had to check in at the hotel. We had like a deadline to be there to check in. So if it weren't for that, we might have lost what we made. But dude, we left, all three of us left richer. I've never had that happen to me at a casino. That everybody I was with left richer than when they walked in the door.
Yeah, and now in today's economy, you can fill up your car with gas for about 4 times with that money. So, congratulations. All right, Graham, I'm going to roll. We'll get to another show Wednesday morning, and we'll talk about whatever's new and probably preview the Texas A&M game and go from there.
Yes, sir.
All right, peace.